Hey there, Rudy Sampson from Guys with Rides. Thanks for visiting the channel. This is our latest installment on the '84 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz that's behind me. It's been a couple of weeks since I provided a vlog. A lot has happened since then. No sooner did I put the body filler panels in, the bumper filler panels all around the car, I decided to go to Bucks County Exotics Cars and Coffee Saturday morning a couple of weeks ago, and unfortunately I hit a deer along the way. I was doing 30 miles an hour and tried to avoid the deer, but it just came out of nowhere. True to form on a body-on-frame car such as this, it only sustained minor damage. The front bumper was not damaged in it, however. The front grille and the front hoodlet molding were damaged, and the hood is dented in. So I immediately went on a hunt on eBay and found some replacement parts. Advice to anybody, if you haven't done it on eBay, is always try to counterbid on buy it now parts. The two parts combined, I think, the asking prices were about $160, and I ended up getting them for about $140. Every little bit helps. So those parts came in. I was very happy with the lip molding. The grille is a bit dirtier than I would have expected and a little more pitting. Unfortunately, with this car only having 41,000 miles on it, the quality of the grille piece is, I'll be able to polish it up, but and only I'll really. That will be a project coming week, I hope, to put those parts in and perhaps after about 30 years try my hand at trying to smooth out the hood dent as best I can. I think I'm better off trying to do that because, again, with this being a lacquer paint car, if I go to have this repaired, putting myself at a disadvantage in preservation class with the car. If you've been following along, when I bought the car, the brake light would come on quite a bit. While driving it around a little bit more, the brake light's constantly on. Brake pedal felt spongy. I had brakes, but could be a lot better. So a couple of tests, right? This had power brakes. The first thing I checked was I shut off the vacuum line to the power brake booster. And when I did that, I did feel a very firm pedal, and so the difference was noticeable enough that I knew I didn't have to replace the power brake booster. However, when you do pump the brakes, you do feel that pedal is spongy in both modes, and the pedal does go to the floor. So that's an indication, particularly with the black, oily looking brake fluid, that the seals in that original master cylinder were shot. So I went ahead and put a new master cylinder on it. I'm not going to get into the details. There's a lot of good videos out there, but whenever you replace a master cylinder, bench fill the master cylinder first before you put it on. Otherwise, you'll be wasting a lot of time and a lot of brand new brake fluid. I then went and did a complete bleed on the car with my wife pumping the brakes in the car, as I don't have a pressure bleeder that fits the flat top GM master cylinders. It was a slow process, but we got through it. The good news is the brake light is out, and the pedal feels much better. I did finish installing all of the bumper trim panels, and as I mentioned in the last video, these fiberglass replacements are not a perfect fit, and I found myself doing a number of trimmings, particularly with the bumper mounting brackets. I had to make some cutting to make them work with the fiberglass. So I think I showed it in the last video. The first one I put on the front driver's side, I'm going to end up having to repaint as soon as I either heat up the garage and stay out here and airbrush it in. But the other ones are installed, and the car does look better with them in. It just looks like a more complete car. On Monday, I had a photo shoot for the 340 Plymouth Duster clone we're currently featuring on the reserve parking section of the website. So I decided to take the Cadillac for a ride, drove out there back and forth, very nice, and when I pulled into the garage, I noticed on the dashboard, the message instrument panel, that the battery charge light was dimly lit after I shut the car off. Could not get rid of it. Decided to go inside, looked it up in my service manual, and that was an indication that something's wrong with the charging system. Later on that day, I came out and the car was dead. I guess the battery had drained from that light being on. Another nagging problem with the car when I bought it was, in certain situations, the accessory belt for the alternator would screech on restart. So I thought it was the belt, but in hindsight now, it's probably was the bearing in that alternator. Anyway, Got a rebuilt alternator and a new fan belt. Took me only about an hour to replace the alternator and the belt, and sure enough, a jump start later, the car was running fine, and I have not had the screeching problem since. So what I thought might have been the air conditioning compressor is turning out to be This coming week I plan to work on the hood, try to get that straightened out so I can put the grill, the replacement grill, and the front lip piece on, and try to minimize the look of the damage from that deer. So that's it for this week. We'll have a video next week. Stay tuned for more content. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you have any questions related to the Cadillac or other questions, by all means, email us at email@guyswithrides.com, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.